is propped up on my dinner, so I'm going to try to make this quick. Good time. Awesome movie. A minus, 8 out of 10. Robert Pattinson, I completely forgive him for the Twilight Saga at this point, because in this movie, he's awesome. He plays this, like, very streetwise thug, and you completely buy it. Like, he does a really great job in this movie. And the dude who plays his mentally handicapped brother, he was great too. Everyone's great. Nothing feels forced. No one feels like they're acting. This movie feels very real. It's very stylized with the neon lights and the synth soundtrack. The movie is very suspenseful. It keeps you on the edge of your seat for at least the first 2/3. Really gripping stuff, but where the movie lost me was, like, there's a certain point where I'm not going to spoil it, but there's a situation involving a security guard, not the police. Well, it does involve the police too, but specifically with a security guard, where I was like, okay, you really came up with that on the fly, and your plan actually worked. Like, I don't know if I can buy that. And after that, there's another part where the dude's like, I can get you $15,000 in 3 hours, and Robert Pattinson's like, no, I need my money now. And just more stupid stuff happens from there, and I'm like, dude, just wait 3 hours. It's like guaranteed money. You just have to wait 3 hours. But other than that, this was a really great movie, and I highly recommend it. You will have a good time at good time. The Big Sick, I'm a little late to the party with this one. I personally think it's a little overrated. I give it a B minus, or a generous B, which would be a generous 7 out of 10. You can tell the Pakistani dude making the movie and starring in it is trying to tell this, like, really honest story and incorporating some mostly subtle humor into it, which I appreciated. I don't know if he was directly inspired by this, but it kind of feels like this movie's aiming to be more of like an old-fashioned type of comedy. I'm talking like 1940s, like To Be or Not to Be, or Sullivan's Travels, where there's long stretches of nothing funny happening, and it's just like a straight-up drama during those parts. But, like, the movie's enjoyable. You believe everybody's character except Ray Romano, just because he's Ray Romano. Just because Ray Romano just has such a distinct voice and accent that whenever you hear him, you're like, oh, that's Ray Romano. Like, they try to cover it up by giving him glasses and a beard, but even despite that, you can see through it, and it's a little distracting. But he does do a good job in it, and it's good to see him relevant again for the first time in like 10 years. And I miss Everybody Loves Raymond. I have a funny story. Well, it's not that funny, but it's like, I wonder what would happen if that happened to me. Where my life almost became that show, but that's a story for another time, or you can just ask me about it in the comment section. But, and the main character's girlfriend is like, she finds out about all the Pakistani women he's, been on, set up with, because his family wants him to marry a Pakistani woman because of tradition. And, like, I don't mean to sound misogynist or anything, but some women out there are really stupid. and like, or at the very least, they get super emotional and don't think logically. And this woman does that exactly, where she's like, you've been with all these women, and I hate you now because of that, because you didn't tell me about it. And, which is stupid, because, like, dude, it's for an arranged marriage. Like, he says, like, I don't feel anything for these women. These women are all just like, I want nothing to do with them. There's no chemistry there. Like, if I marry a non-Pakistani woman, I will be shunned by my family and they'll never talk to me ever again. And by dating you, I am taking that risk. I clearly have some sort of attraction to you and I feel it's strong enough that I would want to spend the rest of my life with you, and it's totally worth the price of my family shunning me because I love you that much. And if anything, you'd think that would make her want him more, because she could be like, oh, my husband loves me so much that his family totally, he's perfectly fine with the fact that his family, like, abandoned him, because he's dating a non-Pakistani woman. Like, the fact that you want to spend the rest of your life with that person is, like, that would be, like, something cool. And, because, like, she goes into a coma in this movie. After she wakes up from the coma, like, he shows her all his visitor badges and all of his, like, he shows that he burned all those pictures he kept of every Pakistani woman he was ever set up with. And just, like, how he has such a good relationship with her parents now, and just, like, and she goes running back to him anyway by the end, and I'm like, lady, make up your mind already. But anyways, that was more a rant on just how a lot of women don't think before they act, instead of the movie. The movie is, like, it's fine. I didn't think it was amazing or anything, but like, the humor is more dry humor. Because they're all stand-up comedians, it's more like punchline humor, and stuff. And they're like, even when they're not on stage, they, like, joke amongst themselves, and, like, some of it's funny, but I think I only ever involuntarily burst out laughing, like, once. And for me, how I gauge how funny a movie is to me personally is how many times I involuntarily burst out laughing. And it's hard to get a laugh out of me. Like, I am not someone who, like, laughs at everything. You really need to catch me off guard to get me to involuntarily laugh. Like, something like the 40-Year-Old Virgin, another Apatow production, that'll get, like, 2 or 3 laughs out of me, maybe. Deadpool got, like, 9 involuntary laughs out of me, and something like Borat or Bruno will get, like, 15 or 20 involuntary laughs out of me. And something like Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail, like, which I personally think is probably the funniest movie ever made, like, I'll laugh my ass off throughout the vast majority of that movie, just because it's British comedic brilliance. Not many people find British comedy funny, but I think in the right context, and if they pull it off well, it can, and if it's well done, it can be really funny. But yeah, have a good time and feel sick after seeing The Big Sick. Oh, I don't care. Why should my opinion dictate yours? You go do whatever you want. I've just wasted 10 minutes of my life. I feel like a terrible person.